Hello everybody, Kim here after 94. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are finally back with some more Soul Calibur creations. It's been a very long time since I uploaded a new Soul Calibur video, which I tended to upload daily characters from what the community made and also character I have made in the character creations. But unfortunately, a lot of other games came out recently, especially last week with Anthem, Far Cry New Dawn, and all kinds of other crazy games that came out. I could have gotten Metro Exodus, but I kind of want to leave that in the back burner for now because I want to replay Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light first before I decide to play Metro Exodus. Also, kind of wait for it to come out in Steam, but who knows? I might be able to pick it up on Epic Games Store probably soon, but I won't be playing the game anytime soon because that game, well, from what I've seen, is pretty big, so that game is definitely not going to be coming out. But with that being said, guys, welcome back to Soul Calibur Creations, and hope you guys enjoy that little montage I left for the characters that I'm about to show off. And we're also going to be, the characters we'll be doing is going to be another characters from movies, old Japanese movies that I have watched recently, and they're pretty good and pretty cheesy and corny, but regardless, pretty entertaining as well. And if you guys have seen the Street Fighter, it was pretty much very controversial when it first came out back in the days, especially when it came out in the US. Like, it was so brutal that they literally gave it X rating. It was just one of the first few movies that have an X rating. But they did cut off a few parts that I deemed too brutal, but the movies, at least the version I've seen, is the original version so far, and it's pretty brutal, not gonna lie. But with that being said, we're gonna show off characters from the Street Fighter, not related to the video game, but its own movies universe itself, the Street Fighter universe. And we got two of the most popular characters in that movie franchise, and that is Sister Street Fighter as well as the original Street Fighter himself, which of course is played by Sonny Chiba, and Sister Street Fighter played by Asuko Shihumi. They're pretty much basically spin-offs. They're technically just set in the same universe. I think their intention was to have this two duke it out each other possibly, but sadly never happened, probably because of budget and time. You know, movies back in the day really didn't. They have so many good ideas, but I think it's mostly the budget constraint because at that time Japan was not doing pretty good in the film industry, so they probably ran out of time and budget, so that probably never happened. But it would have been cool if that happened, but sadly it didn't. So a little background story before we start showing off the characters and how I made them, as well as see them duke it out in the battle, see who's the best. So right here we got Tsurugi from the original Street Fighter, played by Sonny Chiba. This is the closest face I can get to look sort of Sonny Chiba, but it's not the most accurate representation, but it's the closest. And the hairstyle he has too, also a little bit difficult to choose too, because his hair is a little bit curly and like it's more like a little small fro, and unfortunately there's not many options for the fro option besides that ridiculous mumbo jumbo, which is never gonna happen. So unfortunately we couldn't give him a fro type of hair, so this is the closest we're gonna get of him looking a little bit like Sonny Chiba. Luckily they have his eyebrows. I think the facial structure, the face that I choose for him kind of fits, but not exactly Sonny Chiba. And also, sadly, I couldn't make him any smaller because even with the Din setup, he's still pretty fucking huge. So as you can see, he looks pretty big. If you take that shirt off, he looks pretty big, even with everything to the max at -20. He is still a big motherfucker. So regardless, like the characters for the male are ridiculously huge in Soul Calibur. So this is the best I could do. He's still freaking swole as hell, but he's not that big. So a little background story on the Street Fighter. When it first came out in the US and Japan, I believe they were pretty popular to the point they made 2 more sequels based on his character Takuma Tsurugi, aka the Street Fighter. and he is very well known for his brutality and his way of killing people, to the point it makes it feel like he belongs in Mortal Kombat. Like, I'll probably leave a few clips here and there, probably not too much so I don't get any copyright strike from Toei, but I will put some little small clips here and there to show his brutality in killing people, because in this, he's a karate man, and he knows karate, and he's basically a mercenary, and he only does the job when the client trusts him in doing the job, and that will be his only time that he would do the job. He also likes getting paid in advance first before doing the job too. So he's one of those type of mercenaries where he wants some money first before doing the job, then gets the rest after completing it. So he's your pretty much by the book mercenary, hardcore, and one of the best in terms of close combat. In the movie, he did employ a lot of karate techniques that I probably don't even recognize, but he also, in the later sequel, it starts to get a little bit ridiculous, where he has his own little hideout inside his little storage room, puts a mask on, and all kinds of crazy shit that he does. Also got a little needles too he used for projectiles, use that to disable people or hit them in their vitals, like their neck for example, which gives them enough time to take them out when they're down. So he's pretty much your versatile martial artist, which you don't want to tangle with, because he's not the good guy. Like, you fuck with him, he'll fuck you up real good. But in the last sequel movie, he did got overpowered by another karate martial artist, and he got absolutely wrecked because he did not expect the technique he used on him. But luckily, he managed to overcome by, of course, getting good, practicing how to counter his techniques, and eventually kick his ass. But in all three movies, he's not really considered a good guy in a way. He's the anti-hero, more like a villain in my opinion, because like I said, he doesn't give a two shit about what the fuck he does. He just, as long as he gets the job done and gets his money, that's his philosophy. He just get the job done quick and efficient as possible, get paid, go home, boom, done. But yeah, that's about it. I could talk about the original Street Fighter. And now we're gonna move on to Koryu, Lee Koryu from Sister Street Fighter, which is the equivalent of the original Street Fighter. Now, I don't know what was Toei thinking about at the time, but I guess it was a good idea to make a little spin-off for the Street Fighter, because I guess they wanted, like I said, they want to merge the universe together, so that's why they make this separate spin-off, where instead of focusing on Tsurugi's character, we focus on Koryu, Sister Street Fighter. And she's a lot different how she operates compared to Tsurugi. Obviously, I believe in the movie she is a detective, sort of a detective, but more of a martial artist. In the first movie, she went to Japan and to look for her brother, because her brother is a cop, and he was investigating some bad stuff going on in Japan, and he disappeared. So she offered her help to the Hong Kong police to help her find her brother and to figure out what the hell happened what happened to her brother in Japan. And her style is a little bit different. Instead of killing people brutally, she's more a little bit of a pacifist. She usually knocks out her opponent first, unless she has absolutely no choice but to kill her opponents. And there is a lot of times she did kill a lot of people in here, but most of the time she usually knocks them out. She's also not as brutal and gruesome as Tsurugi. She's definitely more of a goody two-shoe. She's a lot more emotional. She's also kind, and she's also willing to help others that are in danger from the baddies. So she's your white knight, and she is the type of person that if she sees evil, she absolutely not gonna tolerate it. In the movie, she also employed a lot of nunchucks, and nunchuck is the best weapon in the movie series. But she also got a few trick up her sleeves too. She used a few dagger weapons to disable her opponents, as well as using that little belt right there. She used that as a whipping weapon at some point in the movie too, and as well as the ponytail too. Also used that as a distraction as well. So she can be pretty versatile too in terms of combat. She's almost as versatile as Tsurugi, but like I said, Tsurugi is a little bit more on brute force, and he's definitely intent on killing people, while Koryu, she only kills if she has to defend herself and her friends. So she's more of a goody teacher, like I said, but if she has to, then she will definitely kill. She will not hesitate to kill. But it's pretty cool though. She's pretty basic for what she wears though. It's like just all she wears is the robe and kung fu shoes, and that's pretty much it, really. But there are a few times she just switches up her outfit. She wears a red kung fu shirt, you name it. She wears a few different clothes, but most of the time she wears this clothes, and this is the closest face that I can get to as the Goshi homie. I could have chose the phase 3, but having the phase 3 is it's still a little bit too kawaii, so I give it a phase 10, where she looks a little bit kawaii, but also that tough face, that tough look in the face too. So like I said, I didn't want to give it the kawaii face because that looks too kawaii, and the other faces don't fit, so this fit will do. And most of the time she does have ponytail hair, so that's why I give it a ponytail hair. But there are a few times she does have long hair, which I could easily switch to long hair if I wanted to, and I could still switch back to ponytail just like that. Cause like I said, she switches up her hair occasionally throughout the whole movie too, so it's fine. And just like Sister Street Fighter, there's also it spawns 2 more sequels too, and it is the unofficial sequel too. But I've seen it, do not like it, does not even belong in the whole trilogy. So 1, 2, 3. So there's only 3 official Sister Street Fighter movies with the same character, and they have their own different tune and themes. They're still pretty brutal too, but not as gruesome as the Street Fighter with Sony Chiba. But it's still definitely pretty rated R. It's not for kids, so there's still a lot of brutal shit that happens in there, but it's a little bit toned down. But it's still pretty brutal, so regardless. And of all the favorites, I'll say part 2 is probably the best, my favorite too. A lot more in-depth in characters, better fight scenes as well. I'll release some clips too down there too for you guys to witness as well. But yeah, guys, other than that, this is the characters from both Sister Street Fighter and the Street Fighter universe. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy this little duel between Koryu and Tsurugi. And we shall see who is the best Street Fighter. Would it be Koryu or Tsurugi? We'll find out right now.
Welcome to the stage of history retold. Are forged under the never-ending skies.
いざ尋常に勝負。
めんどくせえのが嫌い。
安らかにやれる。それとはい。
The battle is over. Show respect for the fallen who fought so bravely.
やっ恐れが敗北を招くのです。
A single slash can cut even the frozen air in two.
しゃあねえ、ぶっ飛ばすか。
本気でお相手いたします。
Fight to your last breath. Victory will not come easily. It must be seized. Battle 3. Fight! Victory goes to the last one standing. Battle 4. Fight! battle is over. Show respect for the fallen who fought so bravely.
俺が本気を出せばそりゃこうなるな。
The cacophony of battle cuts through the deathly silence in an invitation to madness.
いざ尋常に勝負。
めんどくせえのが来やがる。
Fight to your last breath.
一振り。
いいんじゃねえぞ。ぶちかます。 蹴りつける。まだやんのか。どれどれ。
Stand. Fight to your last breath.
やっほっ。うん。たー。終わって。であ。それ。許さない。
Fight to your last breath. last one The battle is over. Show respect for the people who fought so bravely.
弱いのに無理すんなっての。